Welcome back, everyone. Our hot topic this morning, cheating spouses, cheating neighbors, cheating friends. Is this going on somewhere around you? And how can you find out? Well, one of the nation's leading private investigators is with us this morning, Kelly Riddle. He's taking your calls as well, 470-5444. Yolanda, hold on. I'll get to you in just 1 minute. A lady, 9 months pregnant, in the hospital, hires you to check up on hubby.
Right.
What do you find?
Found him with his girlfriend. She called him and said, I'm having a difficult pregnancy, and he said, I'm not coming home. You know, I've got to go to Europe, and I'll be home when I get home. And so she knew enough about his schedule to know where he was going. And so we traveled to Europe and documented him with his girlfriend, mistress, whatever you want to call her, strolling hand in hand, spending the weekend together, and they have a lot of money, so it's a messy one.
So it'll be an ugly divorce, but she'll be well taken care of.
Exactly.
Yolanda, good morning.
Good morning.
You have a question for Kelly?
Yes, it's to do with my boyfriend. We've been together for 2 years, and a few months ago I found a picture of a girl, and I asked him who it was. He said, it's just a friend. He wouldn't give me her name. He wouldn't say anything about it. All of a sudden, I found it in his jacket, and so I asked him, you know, what are you doing with this picture again? He said, well, my son gave it to me because she's the lady who takes care of him when he comes home from school. He's divorced, you see. And I said, but what are you doing with the picture? Well, he said, I took it to work so I could show my friends, you know, how she looked. And this has been bothering me for the longest time. All of a sudden, he doesn't want to take me to the Spurs game with the kids and his friends and whatever, because I might get tired of walking, of climbing up all those stairs.
Kelly, does this sound like a client?
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
potential client?
Absolutely. You know, at that point, they almost want to get caught. That's what it comes down to. You know, that they've reached a point where they're being that blatant and that open about it. So he's kind of in that area where I want to get caught so I can get this over with, but I not necessarily want to get caught either. So I would definitely do some more checking.
All right, Jack, good morning. Jack?
Yeah.
You have a cheating spouse?
No, I don't have a cheating spouse, but I think these people ought to be arrested for stalking these people, because you never know when a wife is confronted or a husband is confronted if they're going to pull out a weapon and shoot their husband or shoot their spouse or something like that. These people have no right stalking these people.
That's a good point, actually. As you saw on the lead-in on cheaters, we don't do that. We don't confront them like that. I've been doing this for 22 years, and I've never had a single confrontational situation like that. The point is, if you do the job right, they never know that you're there, and you turn that information over to your client's attorney, and they use it in the context of a court. And so if it's done correctly, that shouldn't be a problem to begin with.
Okay. Kathy, good morning.
Hi. I would be interested in getting in this kind of career. What would it take to become whatever it is you're called?
You and me both. I think it sounds fascinating.
I love to watch people.
Yeah. Well, women make probably the best private investigators because they're more detail-oriented and they're not as suspected.
Well, the intuition comes into play,
Exactly, exactly. Women definitely have a sixth sense. In Texas, it's different. It varies depending on the state, but in Texas, you have to have 3 years' experience to own or manage an agency. After that, you simply have to be hired by an agency and not have a criminal history and be 18 years or older.
Yeah.
So it's all about being at the right place at the right time when someone needs to hire.
So I'm naturally inquisitive. I love to investigate and dig. I could be a private eye.
Absolutely.
That's all it takes?
Yeah.
Got my next career. Lana's on the line. Lana, good morning.
Hi.
Do you have a suspected spouse problem?
I think I do.
What's up?
Well, he's just not, he's changed so much, so I don't really recognize him anymore since we got married. And he got a phone call last night, and he said that it was the next-door neighbor's daughter wanting him to go check to see if his dad was outside. And it just ended right there, and I don't know if there's something to worry about or...
Kelly?
Well, one incident in itself is not something necessarily to be worried about. It's usually in the context of a whole slew of different things. So I would have my antenna up, and I would keep watching that situation. And I've had clients in the past that in that situation would turn right around and find his cell phone or house phone, whichever one it was, and call that number back and see who it is. Start using your caller ID to track the numbers and those kind of things. So
do a little sleuthing of your own.
Yeah, keep your antennas up.
Richard, good morning.
Good morning. I got a question concerning a tape recording of my spouse's friend who confessed to me that my spouse had an affair, and I recorded my wife's friend telling me that. So I was wondering if that's admissible in court.
Is it video or audio?
Audio.
Audio, okay. Texas is a one-party state, which means that only one party of that conversation has to know that it's being recorded. So if you and I are talking together and I'm recording the conversation, I'm not one party and I know it's being recorded. So one person in that conversation has to know it's being recorded. So
it may be okay?
Yeah, I've had clients in the past that record, put telephone recording devices on their phones and to catch their spouse, which is illegal to do. But they say, that's okay, I just want to know for myself. So use it in that context.
Okay. Tommy, good morning.
Hi, how you doing? I have a question for the private investigator. The man said earlier that y'all stalk people. Is that true?
Absolutely not. We're subject to the stalking laws just like everyone else. The point of surveillance is to do it in a covert context. So covert meaning that they don't know that you're there. I've done over 6,500 surveillance cases myself, and out of those 6,500, I've had less than 10 where the person has even come up to me and said, are you following me? And by the end of the conversation, I had 3 of them apologizing to me. So, again, there's some investigators out there that are not trained properly that get caught every time you turn around. But if you know what you're doing, you're not going to get caught, and you're not stalking anybody. Case law says that you can follow people wherever they go in a public context. If they're on a public street, if they're in a mall, wherever, it's not against the law to follow anyone.
What about the Dayline piece you've got coming up? What did they focus in on?
That was the whole privacy issue, actually. And they have people on there, the pros and cons of privacy and, what's available on the Internet and those kind of things. And, the point is that if I had a 4-year-old daughter in a daycare and I suspect that someone may be a child molester, I want to know.
Right.
And so I should have, the right to do that. And so where do you draw the line? You need to know certain information, but there's certain information that you probably don't need to know. Just like a gun. When they sell a gun, they're assuming that you're using it for the right reasons, but they can't guarantee that. The same thing with information, same thing with video. It's all about the intended purpose.
All right, Kelly, I want to put your phone number up if anyone has a question or maybe wants to hire a private eye for a little spouse sleuthing, or could be anyone. Could be your neighbor, your friend, your boyfriend. 342, or girlfriend, 342-0509. Also, you can check him out online at www.kelmarpi.com. Kelly, as always, thank you.
My pleasure.
Fascinating stuff. We have to take a